Hello everyone, my name is Marius. I'm a business PhD and a trained paramedic.
Hello, my name is Alex. I'm only a business PhD. We represent RWTH in Aachen, one of the leading technical universities in Germany, and today we represent medical adhesive revolution. Let me set the stage here. Today, modern medicine is able to cast miracles. We do open heart surgery, we work on the brain, we can do wonders in plastic surgery. But amongst those procedures, what is the most basic thing that is being done? It's closing wounds, it's stopping the bleeding, and there's ample opportunity to do so. With about 50 million accidents and about 40 million operations in the US per year alone, there's ample opportunity. Nonetheless, how do we stop the bleeding today? We still do it with ancient and brutal technology. We stitch, we staple, we burn. Not is it only very painful of an experience, but it is accompanied by a risk of infection as well as a high time and effort. So we have developed an adhesive that will solve these problems.
A medical adhesive, you might say, oh, that's not new, and you're right. There are actually two ways of how medical adhesives are done. It either can be synthetic or natural. The synthetics are really strong. They're like super glue, but they're not biodegradable, so they cannot be used in the body. The natural, on the other hand, like fibrin, they are biodegradable, but they're not strong at all. So they're just used to stop bleeding, but not to close wounds. So the perfect way is in the combination of the two, and there are actually two ways to do it. One is bioglues, where you don't use human proteins, but you use animal proteins combined with a stabilizer to have a glue. But the problem here is that they are actually toxic and really expensive. The other way, and this is the way to go, we think, is polyurethane. So let me briefly explain why medical adhesives have failed so far and how our product is different. So first of all, on the label on a cyanoacrylate, which is a topical glue, you have this kind of warning label. Do you want to put that in your body? So you can only use it on the skin. But the problem is, it also reads, please only use on dry and fat-free surface. Skin, dry and fat-free? Never. So, this can only be used on the skin, but it's not suited to be used on the skin. Fibrin, on the other hand, is biodegradable. It can be used in the body, but it's not strong at all. If you want to use it, after the operation, the patient shouldn't cough, because that could even open the wound again. And additionally, it's really complicated to use. You see these four components here, you have to mix them. And they are cooled, they are frozen, so you have to pre-order them in the operating room, 30 minutes preparation time, then you can use them. So it's not really an option for any kind of emergency operations. The third type of glue is based on bovine serum albuminum, which is an animal protein, combined with a stabilizer. The problem is, the result is kind of toxic. And the FDA knows about it, but it's FDA approved because there's no other option. And this shows how much the industry is seeking for a solution. They even accept this. And by the way, it costs $2,000 per application. So the usage is really limited to cardiovascular surgery, for example. So, can polyurethane be the answer? It has the right properties. It is elastic. It is high strength. It only takes a few seconds to harden out and doesn't require any cooling. But the problem is, how can we make it biodegradable? And with our company, after 7 years of research, we have found a way to do so. So let me briefly show you how it works. So this is the chemical chain of the polyurethane. And what we did, we introduced two elements that are actually produced in the body. So they are the body owns kind of elements, and the body can process them. So the body absorbs these components, and by doing so breaks down the whole chemical chain, and the whole product goes through the system, and after 30 days is out of the system. And the other cool thing about the product is that we can adjust the degradability by the day, so we can actually fine-tune our product to the situation that's applied to. So we do not have one product, we have a toolkit of products that can be used on the skin and inside the body. So this toolkit, of course, we've patented all over the place. No need to say that. And we have tunable properties where we can fine-tune the degradability, the curing time, the elasticity, and other interesting biochemical parameters. So our product yields real USPs. And let me quickly highlight the 5 most important ones. I've talked about the degradability a lot, but this shows how it actually works. The case are our product. We have tested multiple components, and we can adjust the degradability as we want. It seals within seconds. We can seal a stabbing wound in a pig's heart. So fast, it cures so fast, so we can seal it, and the pig survives the operation. So it's perfect for any kind of emergency operations. It is really strong. It is 25 times stronger than the gold standard fibrin. 25 times stronger. It can hold 5 newtons of tensile strength. That is about the strength of your skin. So it's basically a second skin. Furthermore, if you want to use it on the skin, it has really great cosmetic results. So this is cyanacrylate, which is the gold standard right now. It looks pretty ugly because it causes inflammation with the wound. So you don't really want to have that after, for example, plastic surgery. Our product looks really nice because it's permeable to water, vapor, and air, and it doesn't have any negative reaction with the skin. Also, it's really flexible. The gold standard on the skin, Dermabond, breaks if you just stretch it by 10%. Our product is highly flexible, so you can use it on operations, on the knee, on the arms, on any moving limb, and the patient can move around the limbs freely. And no preparation needed. It is as simple as that. It is applied in a double-chamber syringe device, and so it can be stored in the operating room, no cooling required. The surgeon can use it right away. So a lot of talk. Let's walk the talk. If you cannot see blood, please look away for a second, because we've brought a video that really shows. So if you cannot see blood, look away, because this shows you a 5-centimeter cut in a pig's lung and how it is sealed within a few seconds. So this is our applicator with our product. It's a 5-centimeter cut. So they applied, you see the blood is coming out. Our product is high viscosity, so it's not washed away by the blood. And it reacts with liquid, so it reacts right away with the blood on the wound. So it's not moved away, it actually stays where it is supposed to stay. Now we're applying a parafoil. A parafoil is in any operating room. It's not rocket science. It's just to fix the product on the right place for enough time to let the product harden out. So there it is, and this is 10 seconds in the video. There's no more blood flowing. So we keep it for another 20 seconds in order to establish a good surface. And now we remove it. So this is the first product in the world that can do this. So our product performs really well on all these important dimensions. And as we said, it can be used on the skin and in the body. So how do we perform against the competition? On the skin, the gold standard cyanacrylate, we outperform them, of course, because our product is as strong as they are, but our product doesn't break, and it doesn't cause any skin irritations, and it's flexible. In the body, the gold standard is fibrin. We outperform them because we are strong, 25 times stronger than fibrin, and our product can be used right away. So you might say, okay, what about other startups? There must be so many startups out there in the field. Of course, we are monitoring them. And let me introduce you to 2 of our most valued competitors. One is Cohera Biomedical. They are also using a polyurethane, but just a 1-chamber device, so only 1 chamber, not 2 chamber. And their problem is that it's not strong enough, and it takes 30 minutes to harden out. So not really a solution. And another, a really newly created startup, they're using a patch, which is activated with UV light. So they're really new, so there's not a lot about them. They don't have any patents filed yet, but we're monitoring them because the technology is interesting. But what we can say right now is, you put on a patch, you have to put a lamp inside the body to have the UV light. That doesn't seem really easy to use. So that is the situation right now, and we think we have a one-of-a-kind product in the market.
One of a kind indeed. Now, if you look at the potency of this technology, as well as the sophistication of its protection, now this sounds very high order for a university project alone. And quite frankly, some credit has to go to Bayer, with whom the product has been developed for the past 7 years. However, the strategic decision by the new CEO has been made that biomaterial sciences would not go into medical, would not do anything below 10,000 tons of product per year. So they decided to scrap the project. Now, to make a long story short, members of the team from the university as well as from Bayer came together to found the company. It's independent. They bought the patents. Everything is in our company. So everything is owned, everything is very well prepared. Now, where are we going to use this? Now, we're going to use it in 4 main applications, which is, on the one hand, wound closure, on the other hand, the reattachment of large tissues. It's in-body use in order to seal, again, organs, as well as fluid leakages, like we've seen in the video. And who is going to use it? Now, the most obvious application is, of course, emergency situations, combat, after an accident, after being shot. It's great, it's fast, it's very effective. Secondly, in the operating room, we will be able to increase efficiency, increase effectiveness, and lower the risks of operations. And in the private sector, now our product will allow non-trained people to save lives. So we think that there's a great application there as well. I don't want to dive too deep into it, but if you look at these 2 examples, our product will make a C-section more comfortable after it. It will create better results in terms of how it looks after the application. And in terms of hernia nets, they can now be attached without staples, without any risks to damages in organs or in tissues. Now, who is going to do it? We have a team of very well-balanced know-how. On the one hand, scientists who actually developed the product. On the other hand, we have business know-how with which combined we think that we can bring the product to life. Additionally, we are supported by an advisory board and seek to augment our team. Now, while we do seek to become larger, we do want to stay lean, and we can. Once the composition is fixed, making it is like cooking from a recipe. So there's little risk to quality if we outsource production as well as filling. Likewise, on the sales side, we seek to partner with the large pharmaceutical companies, but this is a strategic decision yet to be made. Now, what we have not talked about yet is it worthwhile doing? Is it financially viable? And it's a strong yes. It's a 2.1 billion market already without offering all the properties, all the characteristics and applications that we can. We expect the 15% increase in the market, with which we think there's a great opportunity finance-wise. Now, how are we going to approach the market? As you can imagine, we're going to go for 2 different kinds of applications. On the skin, like Dermabond, as well as in the body. Now, the on-the-skin application is almost done in terms of its development. We have all the clinical studies. We have initiated the CE certification. And for the in-body product, we have already done first preclinical trials, which have very promising results. So we are confident to launch MAR1 within the year, by the end of the year, and MAR2, the in-body use, by 2017, with the potential to expand as well to the US. Now, how does this translate into sales? We are very confident with the unique selling points we will be able to capture market share on the skin as well as in its new applications. So we expect a sales volume of 160 million by 2023. Now, where are we? What do we want to do, and where can you actually participate? Now, we have secured 1.6 million in venture capital and angel investments, with which we used partially to buy the patents and have the opportunity to carry on our operations in a very lean way until 2015. This is great, but we want more. We want, with your help, 2.5 million, which we will use to make some of the processes in parallel, with the result that by the end of 2016, we will have the topical application in the market in Europe as well as in the US. We will have the rollout internationally ready, and we will have the second application in body ready for the clinical trials. Now, of course, with such an investment, we do not expect to stay in Europe alone. We are willing to look into subsidiaries in the US. We think it's a great market opportunity we have, and that's why we are here. Now, who puts money in wants money out. It's a very hot market. Looking at the deals that have gone through, it's an average of 350 million in transaction. So
If it comes up in Q&A, we have to be strict.
hey, sorry. Thank you
Thank
very
you very
much.
much.